16 years ago, I went to Motorcycle Mall in the middle of the winter. It was really a cold winter. I sat on all the super bikes, and all the way off in the back were the Yamaha R1s for that year. I sat on it. It was the most comfortable of the bikes that were available then. I knew it didn't have traction control, but I didn't care, and I had to have one. It started a love affair that had lasted 16 years already. And it looks like it's just going to be a heavenly day to get a ride, and we're going to ride. I've owned a lot of motorcycles in my life. I've been involved in motorcycling for I'm 79 years old, and pretty much I've had bikes, multiple bikes my whole life. But I've not fallen in love with a lot of them. The ones I've fallen in love with, I now have in my collection. I've gotten rid of so many over the years that I just didn't fall in love with. But the ones in my collection now, I truly do love. And to fall in love with a motorcycle, the first thing you have to do is fall in love with the engine. The engine has to be exactly what you want. This one, the way it delivers the power, it's got the ride-by-wire that was new for that time, probably very common now, if not universal. And when I started going through the gears and had the break-in over with, I fell in love with the engine, the way it delivers the power, and the way it comes on at about 10,000 when those velocity stacks come off the fuel injectors. One of the things I came to really appreciate early on was the sound of the Crossplane. Not only the way it delivers the power, especially down low, but the sound. That sound when you back off the gas in a turn, there's something very different about it than like an FZR or a Ninja would be. It has a very, very unique sound, and it's really very apparent from the cockpit when you're actually riding the bike. Now, all beauty, of course, and all styling is in the eye of the beholder, but I'm old school enough to remember the original Camaros that looked like the whole nose was a scoop, the early Chargers, that whole idea that right in the front of the car you'd have a big giant scoop in the air. And by the way, this bike has those big giant air scoops. Those are functional air scoops that go right into the injectors, and it's very, very sophisticated. There's sensors inside of them and everything. And I made those pieces from carbon fiber that replaced the headlights. That was a really, really big job. I'm really excited to have them on the bike. Another thing I really like about the Yamaha R1, I love the badging and the logos. And what I did, I replaced the stickers that came with the bike with the badging that comes on a 2010. And that was one of the things I thought was a really nice little badging upgrade. And of course, all of it's in the eye of the beholder, but it really does float my boat. And I've had a few of my friends call this the alien look in the front. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but those air scoops, you can't get bigger air scoops than that on a bike to shove some air down into the injectors. But I really do love the badging on the bike. That's one of the things, And the look, now, I understand some people don't like 68 Camaros. I think this bike, it has a unique look, and it's one of the reasons over the years I've not gotten bored with it. I've really enjoyed just even doing little photo ops with it. Some of the custom touches I did over the years, the silver wheels, I mixed my own paint. That really, I thought, that changed the look of the bike from when it had the black wheels. Polishing up the titanium, all of the parts that are visible, the titanium parts, are polished. The exhaust, the parts that show in the back end caps, it's all, every bit of it is just a labor of love. And even the parts that you don't see, a lot of them underneath, I've got them polished. But what worked out really well for me is I just had this love affair very early with the bike. It's grown over the 16 years. I like to do the rides that I do on a daily basis. I get to ride every day. I'm retired, of course. And there's something about this bike whether you're going down a straightaway, going through the gears, in the corners, backing off the gears, downshifting. It is a fun bike to ride. And it's hard to put that into words until you ride the bike. And a lot of times you have a bike that really floats your boat and you like the way it looks and everything about it, and it's just not fun to ride. It shudders at low RPM, or it doesn't shift the way you want it to, and this bike does not have a quick shifter either. But in the end, for me, it suited my needs, and for me, it's fun to ride. A few things that I didn't like about the bike, and well, actually I still don't, it does eat tires up very, very quickly. And I've experimented with various tires, with Pirellis and Michelins, and yeah, I have Pirellis on now, and Angels, and different tires. But the bottom line is, all of the soft tires, they don't really last on a bike like this very long. Over the 16 years that I was having this love affair, I made a lot of unique parts. The carbon fiber muffler covers. Yamaha makes something similar, but they're dull. I made these up and they are very high gloss. I made my own tail tidy from a mold that I have. I didn't like the one that was commercially available. Among other things, I made my own heel guards. I made my own side panels at one time that I actually made two of them. Ones that are blue and ones that are carbon fiber. And I switch them out from time to time. I made a carbon fiber windshield for this bike. I didn't like in the end, I didn't like it. I went back to this one. But that was the fun of evil twinning out the bike from time to time. And that's something I enjoy. I've had 10 different sets of mirrors on the bike. These are the best by far of the mirrors. It took me a lot of tries to get the handlebars that suited my needs right now. If you're a young stud, you probably want clip-ons, but if you're going to be touring for 3-4 hours a day and not laying on a gas tank the whole time, these bars are very comfortable, and they are the bars that come stock on a GS Suzuki. and having my custom Valentine radar detector mount made from Jivy parts really works great. Now, I made 2 seat pillions. The original one was of course the one that comes with the bike with the padding. I don't ride passengers. And I made 2, one low one high one. And everybody wants to know where I bought it. Nope, I made it. Now, the rear sprocket is from a company called Sprox, S-P-R-O-X-X. The chain is a Regina chain. And Vlad, thank you very much for helping me out over the years get a lot of these exotic parts. I'm not sure where they were ordered from. Vlad got them. And my good friend Danny named this bike the Alien. I don't know if that's complimentary or not. Danny? And he calls it the Crossplane. So as I have been thinking, and I think it's true of all motorcycling, you find the part of motorcycling you enjoy the most. Some people, of course, love dirt bikes. My shelf life on dirt bikes, I wore out. The bikes are still there. Hey, Guy still has a couple of dirt bikes. But my interest in riding now is to ride comfortably. That seat, for me, is very comfortable. It's very narrow up by the tank. I like that. And the radar detector doesn't get in your way, and it's got a little backrest for when you're accelerating hard. It's just a nice combination for this type of a motorcycle, a high-performance bike. Works for me. Hard for me to believe how quickly 16 years can go by, but when I go out to the garage and turn the key, to me this is still a brand new bike. It's got almost 40,000 miles. It runs like it's brand new, and it always gets your pulse going just a little bit when you leave the driveway. I'm 79, so I wonder how much longer this love affair is going to last. But I have friends like my friend Ray in Florida, who's 84, and he's still riding some pretty high-performance bikes down there. He has got some really cool bikes. Anyway, and who knows? Nobody can ever predict the future. So So after a 16-year love affair, I have to be honest, I am glad I've never once considered selling this bike. Not even once. It has been a jewel in my collection. So if you're a long-term subscriber, you know about my passion for motorcycling and for making subtle changes, making evil twin parts, painting wheels. I don't know how to describe it. We have a passion for doing things with motorcycling that I don't know. A lot of my friends do similar things, the same thing. But in the end, we all wind up in the same spot. We all wind up on that beautiful day when the sun is shining and you want to get out on the open road with your friends, take a nice ride, a safe ride hopefully, have a bagel with them, have a cup of coffee, and then from that point on, it's definitely a love affair with the bike. Now, if you're new to our channel, we have a very, very eclectic channel. One of the new features we have now is some of the videos are grouped into groups that you can access all the videos for one category in one mouse click. And it should be very convenient and very handy. Just check out the feature on the main screen playlist. And thanks to everybody for supporting the channel. We appreciate your support, and it makes this channel possible with all the things we do, the painting, the wheels, the polishing. And please take a second or two and hit the like button. And thanks everyone for watching.